guys? It's your lovely neighborhood drug dealer. No, I'm joking. It's Minutemen COC, bringing you a new series called Legends of Finn. Alright, it's on Fallout. Finn is going to be my new
War.
character. I'll let this
War
intro
never
go through
changes.
before I state anything else.
In the year 1945, my great-great-grandfather, serving in the army, wondered when he'd get to go home to his wife and the son he'd never seen. He got his wish when the U.S. ended World War II by dropping atomic bombs on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. The world awaited Armageddon. Instead, something miraculous happened. We began to use atomic energy not as a weapon, but as a nearly limitless source of power. People enjoyed luxuries once thought the realm of science fiction. Domestic robots, fusion-powered cars, portable computers. But then, in the 21st century, people awoke from the American dream. Years of consumption led to shortages of every major resource. The entire world unraveled. Peace became a distant memory. It is now the year 2077. We stand on the brink of total war. And I am afraid. For myself. For my wife. For my infant son. Because if my time in the army taught me one thing, it's that war never changes.
Well, guys, Legends of Finn is going to be a kind of like a special, okay?
War never changes.
You're gonna knock him dead at the Veterans Hall tonight, hun.
You think?
Finn is going to be a lone
Absolutely.
sniper. His
Now get
closest
ready and
companion
stop hogging the
is either
mail.
going to end up
Right.
being Dogmeat, Preston, or Piper. Since they were all brought up in about the same upbringing, you could say, they were all abandoned at one point. Well, Preston just sucks at being a military leader in general, so that's why. And Piper, her dad was killed. Sorry for the spoilers if you guys haven't done anything like that yet. And Dogmeat's owner left him. Or died. No one knows. So, yeah. So, Finn is going to be just a lone sniper, just rogue. He doesn't give a shit what happens. Alright? His backstory is from the ages, whenever he was first born, to about 10 years old, his mother and father were just going at it like two hammers to a bulldog. The bulldog dies, which means their marriage just splits apart, okay? But neither of them wanted young Finn, so they left him to, let's say, survive on his
So
own
handsome.
in Boston. So he was living off the streets of Boston for a little bit, couple years, and this guy spots him. He's like, I could use a paper boy. So he moves in with this guy and kind of sets him up for the long run.
Yeah, not bad.
Let me think here. Got to anyways, brings him up for the long run. He works for this guy for a while, you know, goes through multiple stages of his young life. At around age 14, he joins a street gang in Boston, and it didn't go over very well. He robbed a convenience store and was put on juvie for a while. And that isn't where we leave off. After he gets out of juvie, he's about 15. Alright? And he's like, okay, I can't do that again. So he just oh hell. I lost my train of thought. Well, he goes back to work for this guy at being a paper boy. And he does it until he turns about 18.
Ah, good morning, sir. Your coffee.
Grognak the
And
barbarian in the jungle of the Bat Babies.
he decides to join the military, which is where he becomes one of the greatest marksmen ever known in the U.S. military. Yes, seems far-fetched. Maybe. Who knows? I just completely blanked out for about 2 minutes. So, bear with me here.
Dog.
Poor dog. Who knows? Maybe dog meets a long-lost descendant? Hmm? Ever thought about that?
I'm so proud of her.
Maybe not. But, yeah, so Finn is your average white male living in the suburbs of Sanctuary, where he met Nora,
Coca-Cola. Ice cold.
his wonderful wife of 5 years, at a bar in Concord. Yeah, you know, they were getting it on, partying, drinking, fucking taking shots, doing some heroin, cocaine, who knows. I wasn't there. So, eventually, they end up hooking up. And then they start dating, and then, yeah. They date for about 5 years on and off. And then,
It's probably that salesman.
why the hell did I just say dated for 5 years? They're married for 5 years. Married for 5 years. About the 4th year, she became late, and then she had Sean. But anyways, back to Finn. Finn trained with the best of the best. Not only was he trained to use power armor, he was trained to use almost any weapon in the U.S. military. He got his scars from the Battle of Anchorage, where he had been surrounded by a bunch of Chinese militants, okay? They threw a couple grenades at him, they blew up, and caused kind of like an avalanche but with ice. So it's kind of like an ice-a-lanche, okay? And it just cuts his face to hell. Alright, guys? You with me? If not, don't worry, I'm not with myself. I'm kind of scatterbrained. Just throwing it out there.
Sounds great.
Should have made him blind in one eye. That would have been badass.
Now you're already cleared for entrance
But
in the unforeseen event of
yeah, so he joined the military at 18, did the Battle of Anchorage, and you know, before you know it, he became a sergeant in the U.S. military, one of the best snipers, and all around one of the best guys you could handle. But as I'm going to do this registration form, I'm going to put all of my stats into making him a better marksman. It doesn't really work. You'll kind of find that out later on in the video, or in my upcoming videos. He kind of suffers from kind of like autism. He's kind of stupid. His aim, he probably couldn't shoot broadside of the barn. If he was inside the barn with a shotgun, he would be shooting the ground. Okay? But that's because he has a pistol, and I'm just going to leave it at that. It's not his fault. Other than that, he's a well-rounded individual. He has a great personality. He gets along with pretty much anybody, okay? Until the death of his wife in the vault. Once his wife dies, it completely changes him. He trusts very few. As I said, he'll only really trust Preston, Dogmeat, and Piper. Piper because she kind of reminds him of Nora. But other than that, Dogmeat because he was stranded on the streets or in the waste. Kind of like he was in Boston at a very young age of 10. But then you have Preston, which is a terrible military leader. That's the only reason. That's really the only reason why Finn trusts Preston at the moment. He doesn't really trust him. He's kind of like doesn't know what the hell he's really getting himself into with this Minutemen group. He thinks it's just kind of like all full of shit at the moment. But the factions this guy would join would most likely end up being the Minutemen or the Brotherhood of Steel. Because if you play it, you have two ways to play Finn, okay? Finn wants the best for everybody. He doesn't want nobody to end up like how he was brought up, living on the streets of Boston. Nobody wants that. So he wants the best. He's there for everyone's best interest. Not only does he want to work with the Minutemen, but he wants to help the Minutemen become what they've become. Okay?
Oh my God.
We need to get
If you're still following me. He would join the Brotherhood of Steel for his blunt military skills and how they are kind of how they resemble the U.S. military in ranks and equipment wise. And he respects how they're tiered and all the members, unlike the Minutemen. He really only kind of respects Preston towards the end of the Minutemen quest. Once he starts to figure out what Preston's really about, so he starts to respect him. Other than that, there's really nothing to say about that.
We need to get in. We're on the list.
Infant, adult male, adult female. Okay, go ahead.
Thank you.
You two, follow me. Come on.
And
What's gonna happen to all those people outside the gate?
Everything we can. Now keep moving.
for more of his backstory, we will have video 2 coming up shortly after this one. Alright guys, sadly, if this isn't what you guys wanted to see, well, too bad. This is how we do it in the US. Sucks to be you guys. Not only that, but I got kind of bored playing my really high ranked character, so I started like, why not make a new one? Give him a backstory. That and I didn't know I wasn't standing in the middle of that thing. I kind of felt
Almost
stupid.
there. We're gonna be okay. I love you.
But
both
yeah,
of you.
guys,
We love you too.
Minutemen COC.
Oh my God!
I would prefer it if you would like, comment, and subscribe. But we're gonna get this out of the way. So see you in the next one.